Tulsi Gabbard move on from Trump-Russia probe. Tulsi Gabbard, a Hawaii congresswoman and Democratic presidential candidate, has a message for Americans on Special Counsel Robert Mueller's report that is largely in sync with her fellow 2020 contenders' move on. Now that Mueller has reported that his investigation revealed no such collusion, we all need to put aside our partisan interests and recognize that finding that the President of the United States did not conspire with Russia to interfere with our elections is a good thing for our country, the four-term representative said in a campaign video Thursday. But Twitter critics disagreed. Mueller. John Cipher, who identified himself as a former CIA clandestine officer, said, Goodness. Have you seen the report? It's impossible to overstate how tone-deaf and dunderhead this is. Delete your account." Issuing a more light-hearted rebuttal, comedian Tony Posnanski said, "You Avenatti Wayzathay, lawyer for adult film star Stormy Daniels, who was paid $130,000 in hush money by former Trump attorney Michael Cohen for an alleged affair. Once someone who, you make Michael Avenatti look like a good candidate." Gabbard, along with other 2020 candidates and congressional Democrats, advocated for the full release of the special counsel's report be made public by Attorney General William Barr. So far, if the president had been indicted for conspiring with Russia to interfere with and affect the outcome of our elections, it could have precipitated to a terrible crisis that could have led to civil war, Gabbard said earlier this week. "We should all be real." Much like her fellow presidential hopefuls and Democratic leaders in the House, the Hawaii congresswoman said the party should refrain from lingering on the Mueller issue and instead push forward with focusing on policy issues. Now, Democrats pounced at the opportunity this week to again discuss health care, a major topic that aided their 2018 successes after the Justice Department reversed its stance to say it agreed with a federal judge in Texas who ruled the entire Affordable Care Act was unconstitutional. Previously, several 2020 candidates have suggested they should focus on how Trump got to the Oval Office rather than how to forcibly remove him. Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar told CBS News this week that Democrats can do two things at once to ensure the law is followed and make sure we're focusing on an optimistic, economic agenda, while South Bend Mayor and fellow candidate Pete Buttigieg told MSNBC the party needs to be paying attention to the kinds of conditions that made it possible for him to get here in the first place. In her campaign video, Gabbard took the opportunity to push her own bill, the Securing America's Elections Act, that would power every single state to use voter-verified paper ballots that would make it impossible for Russia or any other country or rogue actors to come in and manipulate or change the results of our elections.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park.